Hello, Revere, and welcome to our Revere Veterans and Community Show. Today I have two veterans, really. You're a veteran on the City Council, community veteran, and Officer Giannino, Sergeant Giannino, excuse me. Welcome to the show. By the way, have you done any military service?
No.
Then you're a community veteran,
Yes.
but you're also more than a community veteran. So I'm going to start with you first. You want me to start?
Jessica.
Okay, I don't want to get arrested, so I will do that for you. Okay. Jessica, you've been on the council now for almost 4 years. This will be finishing up when you finish this term?
Yes.
Be 4 years. Tell us what made you first get interested in politics.
I've always been interested in Revere politics, but I really got interested in politics for the first time in college. When I went to Salem State, I got really involved with the student government. I loved it.
Did you say Salem State?
Yes, Salem State.
My granddaughter teaches there.
Really?
Yep.
What subject?
American history.
Very nice.
Yep.
Very, very nice.
So she's been teaching there for a couple of years. So tell us a little about that.
Well, I loved Salem State, and I got involved there immediately. I was the president of the Commuter Association. I started as just a member of the Senate on student government. I became secretary, and then I was vice president by the time I left. And it was just really amazing to get involved in the college community and get to work with our trustees and lobby at the State House and work for the college, and at the time, now the university. So that's how I really got
I
interested.
think you're the youngest one on the city council, if my memory serves me correct.
I am.
And for the people that don't know it out there, Jessica, thank you for coming in first with the majority of the votes.
Thank you.
Good luck to you in on your future too, by the way.
Thank you.
Do you think about going for your master's degree after you get through with college?
I've thought about that. My degree was in English, and I minored in educational studies. But I think that I might look into law schools. I've been studying to take the LSATs and go in that career path. But with an election year this year, I had to take a little time off. So hopefully next fall I'll be enrolled in something. That's the goal.
That's good. Now I want to get back to you, Sergeant Giannino. I'll get it right. You're in charge of traffic. Tell us about exactly what that consists of.
The traffic division of the police department?
Right.
It's,
Like people that have handicaps and things like that, which is discussed about?
we cover everything in traffic. It can be anything from parking problems, speeding cars, handicap parking, licensing door-to-door people, ice cream men, crossing guards. I mean, it's all over the board.
I have to ask you, when people are speeding, and of course you don't chase them all the time, but when you have cameras on your cars to catch them as they go by, does that hold up in the court a lot of times, or it doesn't?
We don't have cameras in the cars. We have radar units in the cruisers.
Oh, on TV I see when an officer gets out of the car, you can see what he's doing. Maybe it's just on television they show that, where they have a camera focused on the...
We don't have those yet.
Oh, but you hope to get them eventually?
With the recent events going on, I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the near future.
I think it's a good idea. It protects the officer from really, who the felon is.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, wouldn't it be, does the City of Revere have cameras that the police can wear?
No.
Is that going to be coming up soon too?
That's something that they were talking about. It's been all over.
I like to
Talked
see
about-
the City Council, Jessica, make sure that some of the funds goes to protect our people that protect us, because you do protect us. So tell us a little about where you took your basic training for policing.
The police academy?
Yep.
Back in the olden days?
Yep. You don't have to tell me your age, but you could tell us about it.
I went to back then it was back in Needham, Massachusetts, by state police.
Where was that located? In Framingham?
Needham.
Oh, Needham?
Needham, Massachusetts.
And how long of a course is it?
When I took it, it was 16 weeks.
Right now, and today it's even longer. I think it's 6
About
months.
6 months now.
Yep. And you learn, they teach you on the rifle range to shoot every kind of weapon.
They hit every aspect of the job that you could possibly think of.
No, I'm going to be real good to you here, you know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to get locked up on there. But before you became to the traffic, before you went on to become an officer of traffic, what were you before that? I mean,
On the police department itself?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I first started?
Yeah.
We first started. Back then, it was back in the late 80s, early 90s.
And what were some of your toughest?
We didn't hire in Revere for, my class went on, there were 3 of us. And they didn't hire the next class until 91,
Wow.
when they put about 10 more officers on the job. After that, we waited till 95 to hire officers. So we were the junior men for 5 years.
Now,
And that
this is
consists
a
of answering
question.
the phones and walking Broadway.
Right. This is a question. Maybe I shouldn't ask it, but if I don't, just on there. Is there any specific ratio in a population of a city? Like, let's say a city of 100,000, there has to be so many police officers as compared to a city of 50,000. Would that be like half police that they have over there would be over here?
The way the ordinance is written up, it is as many police officers as needed. As many officers as needed.
So in a high crime area, you would have more police officers
So
than you would in
that's
a...
determined by the city, how many officers they want to have.
Oh, I see. So,
You know, back in 95, we had 117 guys in the job.
how many?
117,
And what have you today, if I may ask you?
just under 100.
Wow. Has the crime increased since you got onto the police force compared to when you first got on as it is today?
I don't have the numbers on the crime stats.
Oh,
So I've been in traffic for so long, and my numbers, if you ask me about accidents, you ask me about
I was going to get to that
the
eventually.
speed, I can go on for days about accidents and stuff. As far as the crime stats, you know, Lieutenant Goodwin, something his guys would handle.
Right. How do you feel being on traffic when you see a fatal accident? I mean, I saw one, by the way, up on Route 1 across from the Continental not too long ago, where a big truck backed into, hit a car head on and just wiped the driver right out. How many of these have you seen?
Almost every one of them is since 2001.
Wow.
I'm on call. If
24 hours?
If there's a fatal accident, chances are my phone's going to ring. And I'll be going out for it.
Does it mean, no matter what time of the day it is?
Yes.
Right, now I want to get back to you, Jessica. Tell me about your family's history in the city of Revere and how that has impacted you.
Absolutely, Morris. My family has a very long history in the city of Revere. When my great-grandparents, his father's parents, came here from Italy, they opened Giannino's greenhouse off of Malton Street in Revere. So
I'm sure a lot of people remember that.
many. And that was really how we started. My great-grandmother grew pansies in the driveway and then grew it into the business that many knew.
I want to say one thing. I used to buy tomato plants there and plant them in the garden, and we had the biggest tomatoes we ever had. So I want to say thanks to your family.
Papa, those tomatoes were very special to him. He grew them from seed, and
Yeah.
that was his pride and joy. And people would come from all over the area just for his tomato plants and his impatience.
Not only the regular tomatoes, Jessica, but the plums, the ones that looked like little footballs.
Yep.
They were beautiful and delicious, by the way. So when did they first give up the, because they built the apartment houses there?
No, so
Retired.
we've been in the business for over 100 years, and it was at a point where my grandfather and his children have all developed their own careers. You know, my father was in the police department, my uncle's in the fire department, my aunts had their own careers, so it was at a point where it wasn't something that anyone wanted to inherit to move on. And my grandfather was so passionate about it, I don't think that anyone but Papa could run it. So they retired.
Did he
And
work there too once in a while?
He grew up there.
Did you?
I worked there.
For the Giannino family?
Yep.
Good, good. I want to get back to you. There's a question I'd like to ask you, if I may, and this has to do with traffic. And I spoke to you about it. You know, there's a lot of seniors who are handicapped, and because they can hardly walk or they have hip problems and things and so forth, they walk with a cane. The placard has to be in the window. I mean, it has to be put in the window so it's hung from the mirror, that little arm that goes around the mirror.
It has to hang on the mirror itself.
Right,
A lot of people forget to hang on the mirror.
right.
We tell them to do is take a hole puncher, punch a hole in your placard, take a piece of yarn, tie it around your visor, pull it off the visor and let it hang off the yarn
Oh, I see what you mean.
at the same height. It'll be at the mirror. So now when you pull up someplace, you're not fidgeting around for your placard. Just put, you knock it down.
Right, and then I also understand that some people can get a ticket if they do not take that thing down, the placard down, but they drive with it. And you stop them, and you can give them a ticket for that?
Technically,
Well,
yes.
legally.
For impeded operation, you need a ticket for it, for the placard being in the way of your line of sight.
So in other words, the placards have to be, if you're driving and you're not parked, the placard should not be there to begin with.
No, it should be down someplace in the car, in the glove box or what have you.
That's good to know.
Over the visor on a piece of
Right.
yarn.
A lot of people didn't know that, including yours truly.
Yeah.
Okay, now back to the young lady here. What has been the most rewarding thing to you, Jessica, about being on the city council or Revere?
I have to say, I think that one of the most rewarding things has been all the amazing people I've had the chance to meet. You know, I was always involved in the community, but I never had a chance to get to know as many people as I have, like yourself, going to the senior center and meeting
Yeah.
all the amazing people that are there, as well as every other aspect of the city. You know, there are so many people who are involved in the city of Revere that unless you're going to as many events as you do when you're on the council, you wouldn't get the chance to meet, and it's amazing to see how many people really care about our community and are involved.
They do. And by the way, I want to say the council does a fairly good job. And I like to go on the record, I hope the council, when they have to take care of the residential, and I'm not speaking about you, I'm speaking about the whole council. We need businesses in Revere, not residential. So
Absolutely.
the reason for that is obvious.
Absolutely.
One gentleman made a perfect play for that. You have a person come in who may only pay $3,000 or $4,000 a year of taxes that lives in the apartment. Or let's say 5 families live, they pay $3,000 each in taxes. That's $15,000 the city gets. To send one of their kids to school is $14,000. And if you got 3, 4, 5 kids with 5 families, do the math. I rest my case.
You're absolutely right.
Okay. So if you go back, and I hope the council, when they hear this, will make sure that the businesses come into the city of Revere, because that's what we need, Jessica. And I think you were one of the councilors that voted for that, too.
Absolutely. I can't speak for we, I can speak for myself. As a city councilor, we need businesses in the city
I
of
agree
Revere.
with
There's
you.
no excuse for anyone in Revere to have to go out for dinner in another city. We should have the restaurants and the shops and the places to go in Revere that a resident could stay here to do their shopping and to go out to eat and to enjoy a day.
I got to say one thing. There's a restaurant across the street here, Mr. Valari's. There's a gentleman there from Italy, by the way. His name is Salvatore. I wish I could remember his last name. The chef.
Yep.
He donates tickets for us to get, gift certificates to give to the veterans when they come on our show, by the way. And
That's
we give it to
awesome.
them. And I don't even have to ask him. He comes up here, drops them off. He says, for the veterans. I says, I'm a veteran. Can I have one? He says, no. You don't get one, but the veterans do. So even though I'm a veteran, I never got a ticket from
Yeah.
it. But anyway, I want to thank Valari's for the good job they do. And that's what we need, people to come in and do things for us, for the seniors. The jewelry store down the street here, they do a fantastic job at the senior center. So that's what I would like to see. Don't you agree with me on that, Jess?
Absolutely. We need more businesses that care about the community and that are involved in all aspects of the community like that.
Okay, now I want to go back to you, Officer, a Sergeant. I'll get it right. I was only a corporal, so you outrank me. You know, you can have me called Marshal if you wish. The thing is, what is the one thing you enjoy most about being on the police department? And you have been on there, if people don't know it, and I'm going to say it, 27 years.
And I love my job.
You do.
I love my job. I get up every morning, I love my job.
That's good.
All right? I enjoy going to work. I enjoy working with the guys I work with. I enjoy working with the people.
And you have a great chief, by the way, too, Chief Caffarelli,
Yes, we do.
Yep.
He's a good man.
and a former Marine and a former veteran.
Yes, he is. This is
So, Chief,
The last-
thank you for your service.
the last couple of years, I had the opportunity to get trained in installing car seats, child seats in cars.
Oh,
So one of the highlights of the week is when they come in with brand new babies to put the car seats in the cars. I had an occasion probably about 2 months ago where there was a 5-month-old baby and we were trying to put the baby in the car seat. So I had to move the baby out of the seat and I picked the baby up. And the baby's this big in my hand. And I'm holding the baby in my hand looking down saying, wow. You know, and then I'm trying to put the seat in the car. I go to the mother and go, take the baby for a minute so I can put the seat in the car for you.
that's
You know,
nice.
and it's you know, it's not just the crime you're dealing with. It's the whole aspect of the job
I'm going to tell
that
you
makes you love it.
about the City of Revere police officer, and this happened about maybe 15 or 20 years ago, I don't remember. I had to take my wife to the hospital. So I get out the car. They were doing road work around on Elliott and Standish Road where I live. So they were doing road work there. I had to take my wife to the hospital. I get in the car. I turned the key on the car, going, wouldn't start, wouldn't start. And there was a police officer down on Elliott Road. He come walking up the street and he says, what's wrong? I says, I got to take her to the hospital. It wouldn't start. Within 2 minutes, he had someone, not him, he had someone come over and give me a jump, and we got the car going and everything worked out fine. Because he says, I can't leave my post, which he didn't. He had someone come over and help us. So if he's out there, thank you.
Yeah, but that's the part of the job you enjoy, you know? It's the little,
Helping people,
the
right.
little things you do that make a difference in someone's life. The little things.
Okay, now I want to get back to, either one can answer this question. What improvements does the city of Revere need? And I'm going to start with you first, because where you being the traffic, sergeant of traffic officer, you see potholes, you see things broken up. That could affect traffic. You see a big pothole, boom, you can break your spring, have a flat tire.
As far as fixing the potholes and stuff, or as far as the traffic itself?
What you would like to see improvement. Like the bicycle paths they put out there. What do you think about that? I think it's a good idea.
I have pros and cons for it.
Let's hear
All
them
right.
both.
All right, well, tonight coming down here, I'm coming down Broadway, and I'm in my truck driving down Broadway, and I stop at a crosswalk for a young lady pushing a carriage across the street. At which point a bicyclist decided to pass me on the right and missed the carriage by 2 inches.
Right, but he should be given a ticket too.
All right?
They should have the same.
They have to follow the same rules.
As
What
a-
they don't
right.
realize is they have to follow the same rules as the cars.
Exactly.
You know, I
So-
think the bicycle pass could be a good idea if they're utilized right, if they follow the same rules, and it makes you aware the bicycles are on the road with you. They are sharing the road with you. The bicycles are here. They're not going anywhere.
So in other words, the pedestrian has the right of way, whether it's a bicycle or a car, if
Yes.
he's on the
That-
crosswalk.
when you're crossing that crosswalk and you're into that crosswalk,
Right,
they have to stop for you. You know,
right,
it's-
because I know the motorcycles do. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just like the regular cars, so the bicycle should be the same.
Yep.
Good idea. Good idea. I like that.
I mean, that was one of the improvements the city made in the last couple of years. That first Revere Street and worked out pretty well,
Yep.
and now onto Broadway. It's still in the experiment stages right now. It's still in the learning stages. It's still too early to determine how it's going to work, but they're here.
Now,
The
that
bike's
doesn't, that's, excuse me, Sergeant, does that mean when you see a bicycle doing the wrong thing, like you just said, you could give him a ticket too?
There is a fine structure for bicycles.
There is?
Yes, there is, and currently we're working on how to enforce the fines for the bicycles for the ones that are driving erratically.
Yep. Now, I got to ask you, do the bicycles have to travel in the flow of the traffic or the opposite of the traffic?
They travel with the flow of the traffic.
Because I've seen a lot of bicycles go the other way, opposite the flow of the traffic,
If they're coming to the opposite flow of traffic
right?
and there's a collision and they hit head on, it's not going to end well. Whereas if they're going the same direction, the bike and the car go in the same direction, and if there's a collision, you're going the same way.
Right.
So the momentum is going to be for the same direction.
Well,
as
that will
opposed
be
to
the law of
opposite.
physics, like you going 20 and him going 50. When they hit, it's going to be 70.
It's not going to be good.
It's
It's not going to be good.
Okay. I hope it gets better, though. Yeah. Next question. I asked him, I'm going to ask you, what improvements, being on the council, would you like the city of Revere do, Jessica?
I think we've brushed on a couple of them. I believe potholes are a huge improvement we need to see in the city.
Yep.
This winter was tough, and we're working on it, and our DPW has done a fantastic job with the manpower they have, but we definitely need to work on potholes. I think that we're also coming to a point where we're going to need a new high school pretty soon. When I went to the high school, there were classes that were in the auditorium if there was a teacher absent, or in the hallway in front of the auditorium. We're incredibly crammed for space, and it's not air conditioned, and it needs a lot of improvements to it, so we're definitely reaching that point. And like we touched on earlier, more economic development. We need more restaurants, more shops, more commercial development.
That's good for business. You know, Market
Absolutely.
Basket came in here, thanks to Mayor Rizzo, who did a lot of work to get it in here. It's a fantastic thing for the people of Revere that shop here, because they love it. You got Stop and Shop, Market Basket. I miss Shaw's over there, you know, but because I could walk right around the corner where it was great. What other, what are your goals for the future of Revere now, being on the council?
I've loved working on the council, and I don't plan on going anywhere. I plan on being involved in city politics for a very long time. I'm very happy doing what I'm doing, and I hope that I can continue on the path that I am and, you know, learn and grow and get better every year.
Right. Real quick, we got about 5 minutes left, so I just want to get a little about your education. You got part of your family here. Tell us a little about where you grew up and where you went to school.
I grew up in Revere, went to Whalen School back in 1971, 1970, Lincoln School, Revere High School.
Did you go to college at all?
Salem State,
Oh, that's where she's going to.
Salem State College, and the Police Academy. And then as far as the police, after the Police Academy, I mean, my training, I went on to do some crash investigations, school down in Florida for that, and
That's good.
had some fun.
But you don't have to go to law school to get onto the police department, or do you? I mean,
All you need is a high school education
just a high
to
school?
take the police test. This is, if you have a degree in business, I mean, criminal justice, it helps out, and military service.
You know, that sounds interesting, so I'm going to ask you another question. Is there an age limit?
At one time there was. I don't know if there still is or not. I think there was so many lawsuits brought up that
Oh, there was?
if they could make the academy, there were people in the academy 40 years old.
You mean he's 40 years old first going to the
Going to the
academy?
academy at 40 years old. I think it's a young man's game.
But, I mean, the running and the vigors, you know, if you have to chase a criminal or go after him, I mean, if you're 40 years old, you're not going to do it as good as a 20-year-old.
You can't keep up with a kid. He's a 20-year-old kid right out of the Marine Corps. Can't keep up with him.
Oh, okay. Jessica, how about you? Where did you go to school? I know you said you graduated from Salem State, but what about Revere?
My dad and I actually had the same first grade teacher. I went to the Whalen School. I was the last class to graduate from the old Whalen School. I went on to the Garfield and then Revere High.
That's terrific. That is really terrific. You know, do you ever go to the high school to speak Sergeant Giannino to the kids at the school and tell them when they graduate high school or go to college that there could be a future for them in the police department?
At one point in time, we used to go to high school and talk before the proms and the graduation and tell the kids about the safety and what have you. Now, we have the kids coming to us, we have internships.
Oh,
And we'll have the high school kids and college kids coming to the station. And they'll do the internship, and I'll get them for a piece of time in my office with me.
then I got to ask you, you told me you're one that's 40 years old. What is the age youngest that you can come in to join the police academy?
21
Oh, so you have to
to
be,
get a gun license.
and you have to have a clean record, or yes or no? I mean, I'm not talking about violence. I mean, if you were a kid and you did.
That depends on a record check with when the chief and the training officer do the check on the person. And I mean, not everyone's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes.
Exactly.
And you can't take a mistake a kid made and hold it against them his whole
life,
life.
right.
You know, you have to take it for what it's worth.
That's good. That's good. I'd like to hear that. Right, Jessica, we only have 2 minutes left, so take a minute and a half to wrap it up.
I just want to thank you for having us on the show tonight. It's been a wonderful experience, and I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the studio's time. This has been really fun.
Right, Revere does a terrific job for the community. And I'm not
Absolutely.
speaking because I do some of the shows for Revere TV, but we do give out a lot of news to help the people that are out there. And you gave me a lot of knowledge tonight too, Sergeant. So I want to thank you for that, for coming on the show. And good luck to you, and God bless you, and keep you safe,
Thank you.
especially
Thank
your
you.
uniform on there.
Thank you.
And the violent criminals, put them away. I'm talking violent now, you know. And Jessica, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Maureen.
You do a
Thank
good
you
job
so
on the
much.
council for us, and
Thank
keep
you.
doing it. And you know, you're one of the youngest women. There's another young gentleman there, Steve Morabito's a young man, and the one who's running for mayor, Brian Arrigo, who's a very intelligent young man. So you got 3 young people on the council now.
We do.
Yep. And you come up with good ideas. You know, they say the elderly, the older you are. We learn from the young. I mean, I learned from the young how to work the Chromebook, for example, which I would, 20 years ago, they wanted to teach me. I wouldn't go near those things. I didn't even know what the switch was. I didn't want to know. I say, this is not for me. But thanks to people like you, we do a good job for the seniors. So God bless both of you. And take care of yourself.
Thank you, Morris, and you do a good job for the seniors, and we appreciate all your hard work at the center.
Thank you, and God bless our troops and our great country, the United States of America. And thank you all out there for listening, and thank you for having me the honor to meet two great people like Jessica and her father. Thank you.